Brian Flores is suing the NFL and the New York Giants. Yeah. That came out of left field.
It just happened. Breaking news.
So this is from the law firm that is representing him. A rough day for speaking. It is EP Attorneys at Law. On the first day of Black History Month, it is our great privilege to represent Brian Flores in his class action complaint against the NFL. This case seeks to the level of playing field in the hope that future owners and coaches will be representative of the athletes who are playing this great game. We fully expect the coaches and players of all races to support Brian as he embarks on his journey to create positive change. And that was the statement from their law firm. So, yeah, this came out of left field. There was more allegations that they would offer $1,000 per loss to pretty much gain draft picks. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out everything. So,
well, Darius, what do you think about?
Yeah, what are your guys' thoughts while I try to put this story together?
What do you think?
This is breaking news as we are coming on the air.
I mean, they give them every reason to do it. When you think about it, like we was talking about, there's only one black head coach in the National Football League, a league that's make up like 75+% African American players or black players, and
it's wild to think, because like growing up, I really don't remember that many black head coaches. The first one that comes to my mind is like Lovie Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, Tomlin's there, but
Mike Tomlin I feel like Mike Tomlin's a given. But I feel like outside of him, there's
it was only Lovie Smith.
It was only Lovie. That was the only one I really remember.
My boyfriend that played from the Bengals, Marvin Lewis.
I remember him.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Didn't he coach the Browns too?
I think he was defensive coordinator. Well, it was Hubie
Brown.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was with the Browns for a couple years, I think.
When it was going winless.
Yeah, they didn't win a game.
I remember that, but no, it's interesting to see. I feel like I agree with you. They feel like they didn't really give him no choice.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
All right, so just kind of putting some pieces together. Mr. Ross told Mr. Flores, Mr. Ross being the owner of the Dolphins, that he would pay him $100,000 for each game lost that year. Then when the Dolphins started winning games, due in no small part to Mr. Flores' coaching, Mr. Flores was told by the team's general manager, Chris Gear, that Steve was mad that Flores' success in winning games that year was compromising the team's draft position. There was also, I guess, leaked text messages. Bill Belichick texted Brian Flores thinking it was Brian Dable, sorry. And so there was that. And then apparently the the Giants had brought him in for a sham interview. That's being talked about. So yeah, it's a class action lawsuit against the NFL. He's being represented by the same firm that represented Harvey Weinstein victims and former Fox News employees in their discrimination cases. So, yeah.
That was well calculated how he did it. Though. He went to Black History Month, like, all right.
He waited.
I mean, I'm sure he had to get his evidence correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's ironic that it happens the day is Black History Month, like the actual first day of Black History Month. It's so ironic that it happens like that. You know, hopefully he gets the justice that he deserves. And I mean, you can't really fault a man for winning.
Yeah, the Miami Dolphins,
who a lot of people at the beginning of the season thought were going to do good.
I know, right?
So, more information. Broncos were named in the lawsuit over a 2019 interview with the team. Lawsuit alleges Elway, Ellis, and others were hours late for the interview. That they looked completely disheveled, and it was obvious that they had been drinking heavily the night before. So this man apparently he has the evidence.
He's doing this man dirty. I sue too.
I mean, you got to make those type of steps to get some change to go.
Yeah, you can't just be showing up any type of way you want to. Yeah, hopefully
this is crazy news.
Hopefully Flores gets the justice he's looking for.
I wonder what was that text message from Bill
Belichick. So there's screenshots of the messages. I can read you the messages right now. So Bill said to Brian, "Sounds like you have landed the job. Congrats." And then Brian Flores
something I didn't
replied, "Did you hear something I didn't hear?" They said, "Giants." I said, "I interview on Thursday. I think I have a shot." "Got it. I hear from Buffalo and New York Giants. You are their guy. Hope it works out if you want it to." Flores then said, "That's definitely what I want. I hope you're the right coach. Thank you." Oh, I hope you're right, coach. Coach, are you talking to Brian Flores or Brian Dabble? Just making sure.
Should you just play Bill Belichick? I play Brian Flores.
Bill. Well, I'm to the last. Sorry, I can't say that word on the radio, but it starts with an F. This up. I double checked and misread the text. I think they are naming Dabble. I am sorry about that, Brian Flores.
Thanks, Bill. Yeah, it sounded like Bill Belichick was having a couple drinks himself.
Yeah,
it sound like how do you?
Seems
the
like
last names is two different letters.
He was able to full conversation.
Seems like something
Congrats.
you want.
So getting the head coaching job. He's like, I didn't get one yet. That should have told you right then it's the wrong Brian.
I know, right? Sound impaired. No, but yeah, that's crazy. That's wild.
That's wild to think that all this has been happening behind the scenes.
Oh,
there's some crazy stuff that happens.
Yeah,
it's
a lot.
Like
Definitely
you got to think about all the email stuff.
John Gruden,
and now
this.
Wow. I mean, this is a major story. Like this is huge.
Yeah. We're definitely gonna see how it play out the upcoming weeks.
Yeah.
So we talked about the $100,000.
Yeah.
So the issue that the text message arranges, Bill Belichick. So they had already picked their coach before they interviewed Flores, which isn't right. I would assume that you would want. I mean, Flores was a good coach.
Yeah.
So this could be why maybe he hasn't found a job. Flores, is that he's focusing. I do have a statement from him if I can find it.
I mean, that's just sports teams for you, man.
I mean, this is just crazy.
I mean, what was the coach from the Toronto Raptors? Black coach. It was
Dwayne Casey.
One coach of the year didn't get fired.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
they brought in Nick Nurse. That was crazy.
It
happens, man.
Professional sports.
It's because they got a new GM. That was when they made the Kawhi and DeMar trade.
Yeah.
After they told DeMar DeRozan they wasn't going to trade him.
Yeah.
2 days later, he got traded while he was out of the country. I was like, dang. That's sad.
Flores said in a statement, "God has gifted me with a special talent to coach the game of football, but the need for change is bigger than my personal goals." So it sounds like Flores probably won't be coaching this season.
Which is
and he
insane.
will,
which sucks.
Try to figure it. I mean, because there's always the Rooney Rule.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like that rule was not right. I mean, it was pretty much like, oh, we'll just give some random coach that we know we're not going to fire or hire some job just so we can go. I feel like there's too many gifted athletes that have been African American to not only have one head coach right now. Yeah. I mean, Leftwich is probably going to get there. Todd Bowles could get there, but you saw Coley. Coley had a decent season with the Texans.
Yeah.
I mean, Flores got fired. It's not right to only have one black head coach.
I know, right?
Yeah. And there's one black owner in the NFL? That's insane. Think of all the athletes.
What it does.
90% of the league. I mean,
how it looks
and you have one black head coach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it isn't the right president.
Yeah, but it's nothing I'm shocked about, It's just how it's been. Like he said, he's it's not about him. He's actually trying to get changed and come to the NFL, and we'll see how it play out. Hopefully, they do make some changes.
Yeah, I hope so too.
You're passing up on good coaches like Todd Bowles is a good coach, Brian Flores good coach, Brian Leftwich, like you say, might get the job, but these guys are proven coaches in the NFL.
Well, and the other thing is, black coaches have always been on a short leash.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah,
I mean,
unless you come in winning like Mike Tomlin.
that is true. Also.
yeah. I mean, when you have to keep Tomlin.
Yeah.
The Giants just released a statement. We are pleased and confident with the process that resulted in the hiring of Brian Dable. We interviewed an impressive and diverse group of candidates. The fact of the matter is Brian Flores was in the conversation to be our head coach until the 11th hour. Ultimately, we hired the individual we felt was most qualified to be our next head coach. That was a statement the Giants have released. This is wild. Like, this is... Yeah. So apparently that whole end of racism thing in NFL Ed Zones has not worked as well as hoped.
Right.
Still needs some work. It does.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, all this... But, so... This focuses on two things. One, racism in the NFL. We knew it was going on.
Yeah.
Especially with the Flores hiring. Another thing is this now admits that teams are tanking because the owner was paying him $100,000 to lose.
Yeah.
To gain draft pick capital. How do you...
Dolphins.
I never understood tanking because how do you tell a locker room to lose?
Yeah, it's like the natural competitor in you is like, I don't...
Like if you
I think you go to the coaches with that. You know, you call up prevent defense at the wrong time. I mean, it's just like the play calling.
You call QB sneak on a
like
3rd and 9.
Yeah,
I feel like you can't tell the coaches that, but I feel like as players, it's like you gotta catch on to it at some point.
Right, because as a football player, you can't go out there and just go through the motions because you could end up seriously hurt because the other teams is not trying to go through the motions.
Exactly,
and it's a dangerous game to play that way. So
2019. Was the year this allegedly happened when he was paying guys. Ryan Fitzpatrick was the quarterback.
Yeah.
How do you go up to Ryan Fitzpatrick and go lose games?
Yeah.
Like he's only has so long of time.
Yeah. He's not going to intentionally. That's like telling Aaron Rodgers, hey, go take
luckily they were a pretty young team. Like Alan Hearns. But defensively, let me pull this up.
Well,
Rashad Jones, John Jenkins. They did a lot of... Eric Rowe was pretty decently up there. I just don't understand how you, convince older guys to lose.
Yeah.
Brian Flores is going to get blackballed from coaching in the NFL. No pun intended.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I definitely think so.
Probably.
Because he even said, he's like, I know I might be risking being a coach in the NFL again, but he thinks he's taking
It'll be interesting.
The necessary
NFL's
steps.
got to have a statement coming.
No, for sure. I'm sure they're cooking one up right now. We're probably going to get it in the next 20, 30 minutes.
Brian Flores said this: I understand that I may be risking coaching the game I love. My sincere hope is that by standing up against the systematic racism in the NFL, others will join me to ensure that positive change is made for generations to come. Yeah, this isn't great for football.
Nah. Well, I know the first place you're going. On some podcast, you're going to I Am Athlete.
Who was the first black head coach to win a Super Bowl?
It wasn't Tomlin.
I'm looking at the picture of it right now. It was the two first black head coaches to play in the Super Bowl, Lovie Smith and Tony Dungy.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, Dungy.
You got the Colts and Bears right behind.
Yeah. Up there. This is what
Hey.
This is just
breaking
bombshell.
news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about breaking news.
So much for talking about the conference championship. No, but it definitely threw us off for out of left field.
So he's suing for money, I would assume, or is he suing for change?
Both.
I think you're suing for money, and then you're hoping change happens.
Yeah,
you're pretty much saying, all right, here's what happened. It was wrong and messed up. Let's figure out what we can do to change. Wow, this is weird. This is crazy. Wow. What a story to break up the month. What a start to the month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a way to start off Black History.
We'll definitely, see it unfold in the next couple of weeks, or even.
I'm sure we're gonna get more about.
I'm sure there's tons of.
There's more gonna be
statement from Roger
talked
Goodell.
about probably within an hour, honestly.
Robert Griffin III had this to say on Twitter. Brian Flores effectively had to end his chances at coaching in the NFL to point out what we already know about discrimination in the hiring process for head coaches in the NFL.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So the Broncos, Patriots, and Giants are 3 teams being sued by Brian Flores. Broncos, we mentioned earlier, Giants, their process, and then not sure what the Patriots came up with, but I would assume the Dolphins are in there as well.
Yeah. Makes most sense.
Yeah. Because, wow. Okay. Tell us what you think on social media at the 300 Club. We will be right back. We will talk about conference championship games as well as more Brian Flores stuff. We'll talk about it throughout the show. Yeah, all that coming up next on the 300 Club on sportsnowchicago.com.